Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle,
Welcome in to another edition of the Auburn Blitz. Caleb Brooks, David Jones here with you for this Monday edition of the Auburn Blitz, and getting the week started and recapping a big weekend for Auburn University in athletics as they were able to get 2 out of 2 against Alabama baseball. They got halfway through the game yesterday and wasn't able to finish it due to some weather that was around the Auburn area, unfortunately. That game was tied 1-1, and Auburn looked like they were getting close to being able to bust it open there at the middle part of the game, and ended up having to cancel it. But a big weekend for Auburn there. Auburn softball finds out that they're going to a regional and will be traveling and heading up to Clemson, and so we'll talk about that as well. But, David, we'll get things started with the baseball series. Auburn, a big one against Alabama. We talked a couple of weeks ago about going into the Tennessee series. You were going to find out a lot about them. Arkansas series, you found out a lot about them. And then this weekend was going to be important coming off those 2 big series and showing up and playing well. And obviously Auburn was able to do that, and especially Saturday getting down 4-0 and making a big comeback and able to get a win.
Yeah, but true. Game 1, Caleb, was just an excellent baseball game. Alabama's staff pitched well. Auburn just happened to score 1 more run than Alabama. That was an incredible baseball game. Saturday, after Trace Bright, Alabama just shellacked him, and that hadn't happened very often. But then the bullpen comes in, and I think Alabama had 3 base runners after the first inning, 3 or 4. So Sheehan and Carson Swilling and Alsop, the freshman from Dothan that runs it up like 96, 97.
Yeah.
They did the job, and of course Auburn. It's just hard to keep Auburn's bats down for 9 innings. It just is. They just, and Butch changed the batting order this week. I know you were in Dallas and didn't see a whole lot of what was going on, but he led off with Brody Moore this weekend, and Sonny DeShera batted second, and then he brought Rambush in behind DeShera, thinking, well, they can't put Sonny DeShera on with Blake Rambush behind him, and it worked. So I don't know if they're going to stick with that or not.
They still walked him 4 times on Friday night.
Yeah, Friday. That wasn't the lineup on Friday. Saturday,
Okay.
Sunday, that was the lineup. They did walk him once yesterday, I think, or Saturday. But let me set the record straight for Auburn fans, because I've heard a lot of people complaining. During the school year they have that Sunday rule, and I don't think that rule was in effect yesterday because both teams are out of school.
Yeah.
I think they could have finished the game, and Auburn fans are having a duck about why didn't they. Well, look, I was in Auburn from 3 o'clock till about 7 o'clock last night, and the lightning, regardless of the 10-mile thing, the lightning and the rain and the impending weather in Auburn just did not look good. And so, they might not have started that game back till 9 o'clock. But people say, well, they should have played it if it was midnight. But, it is what it is. Horrible timing for Auburn, Caleb, like you said. Bases loaded with 1 out, and one of our hottest hitters, Bobby Pierce, up to bat. The interesting thing, if we could have finished, both pitchers were done.
Yeah.
And Auburn's bullpen's just been really, really strong lately. So I feel like we were in a good place. But it is what it is. It's unfortunate. I don't think that half game's going to play a part in our regional. I mean, we're ranked so high there with the projections that I think a regional is in the cards. But it was a good weekend for Auburn baseball to take 2 from their rival. And I got to spend some time yesterday with our buddy Chris Stewart.
Okay.
Chris and I've known Chris since he was about 3 feet tall, running around the swimming pool in Glen Oaks in Fairfield, Alabama. And great to visit with him, during the weather delay.
He was up there doing the radio broadcast?
He was doing the radio. And
Who was with him?
I can't remember the guy's name.
Was it Roger Hoover?
I believe that's correct. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And, I knocked on the window, because you can't get to him. And the guy looks at me like, all right, dude, what do you want? I said, is that Chris Stewart? He said, yeah. I said, telling him to look over here. And then, of course, he came. The story on Chris is when Chris was in the 7th grade, I cut him from the Forest Hills Middle School basketball team because we had 75 guys try out, and Chris just wasn't one of the dudes. So he blames me for ending his athletic career. But I told him, I said, Chris, I just jump-started your broadcasting career because you have a face for radio.
Well, it's worked out.
Yeah, it has worked out. Give me some credit, bro. But yeah, he loves to tell that story. But, you know, he's been through so much, and just thankful that he's healthy now, and it was great to see him. But good weekend for Auburn baseball, and now big game Wednesday going, and Sanford just beat Mississippi State in a midweek game. They'll be loaded for Bear at the Hoover Met. Good that Auburn gets to play one at the Met before the SEC baseball tournament. I think Butch did that by design. And then, of course, we go to Kentucky, and who knows which Kentucky team's going to show up, Caleb?
The one that beat Tennessee in a series, or
the one that
gets swept.
Looked awful this weekend.
Yeah.
So, but I feel good about where we are. So,
what were your thoughts, you know, on Alabama? Watching Alabama's baseball team, what was your thoughts on them?
I like what I saw. I mean, we didn't, you know, a 1-run game and a 2-run game.
Yeah.
At our place.
Well, and the way, you know, obviously I'm an Alabama fan. The way I've looked at it, last year Auburn was what in 1-run games? I mean, they lost like 11 1-run SEC games, right? Alabama 6-14 in 1-run games this year, and they remind me a lot of that team last year. You just kind of you lose a couple, and all of a sudden you just can't figure out a way to win those close games, and it's really hurt them this season.
They you know, I'm not as familiar with their pitching as I probably should be. I was way impressed with what I saw Friday from their pitching
McMillan's
staff.
been good.
And they hit the baseball. It had an unfortunate turn yesterday. You know, had a guy that was trying to stretch a double into a triple or go from first to third, and he literally just fell down.
Yeah.
And Brody Moore tagged him out. You know, that could have been another run for Alabama because he's in scoring position. I like this Alabama team. And they have, of course, they have Arkansas this coming weekend. So
well, they're not going to make Hoover.
Is that in
I don't
Tuscaloosa?
think. Yeah, it's in Tuscaloosa, but they're not going to make it to Hoover. They're not going to make a regional, and you know it's disappointing because they beat Tennessee. They were ranked, you know, in the top 25 at the time, and now they're 4-13 since they beat Tennessee that day, and it just happens sometimes. You know, I mean, we're going to talk about softball in a little bit. A&M softball team was kind of in the same boat. You know, they went like 7-17 in SEC play, but they had done so much in the non-conference, and they just kind of hit a skid in SEC play where they couldn't win games. And then here at the end, they, you know, beat Alabama 2 out of 3, and they beat Arkansas there at the end as well, and you know, kind of got, you know, showed, hey, we are good enough to be in this regional, and we just kind of went through a lull, and it happens in baseball and softball and the sports like that. We see it in basketball
how about
as well.
Missouri softball?
Yeah, they've been hot.
They
just ran into a buzzsaw Saturday with Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas is the best team in the SEC this year.
I had not watched them, Caleb, and
they swing it.
Good grief.
They swing it. They go up there to hit the ball as far and as hard as possible. They take great cuts, and that's been the issue that I've had. I mean, you probably watch more Auburn softball. I hadn't seen Auburn play that much, but my issue with Alabama is you watch Alabama, so like a girl like, you know, KB Side just went and won the SEC Player of the Year in softball, and she transferred from Alabama to Arkansas and never looked like a Player of the Year at Alabama. But she goes there and she's hitting home runs.
Was at Alabama?
Yeah, for 3 years.
I didn't know that.
So she was Gatorade Alabama Player of the Year here from Dora High School.
Oh, she's a player.
Yeah. So that, you know, Arkansas's done a good job of developing players, taking them, and then their pitcher, you know, only allowed 1 run all weekend. They outscored their opponents 11-1 over 3 games.
Yeah,
so.
It was a great run for Missouri, but you knew it was probably going to end in the championship game. It's fun to sit up here and talk about SEC baseball and softball because it's just the premier.
There's not a better conference in the whole country right now than those two.
And it's going to be interesting to see how many regionals we get. Baseball, softball, I don't know how many we got, but I didn't count.
You know, when you look at it for baseball, you got Mississippi State sitting there at 25-27, so they're obviously not going to get in. I think Missouri's probably right on the edge of getting in or not at 26-22. Kentucky is probably right there on the edge. Alabama, I don't think that they're going to get into one. And so, I mean, I would say 10 to 11 SEC teams probably have a possibility of getting into a baseball regional, which is, you know, pretty good. I mean, there's not many other conferences that are going to be able to say they have 10 or 11 getting in.
When's the last time, Caleb, that we had a baseball team win the national championship and then next year
finish
not
last,
make their conference tournament?
Yeah, finish last. I mean, that would be something for Mississippi State, and sitting there at 9-18 in the conference, and it's crazy to look that they beat Alabama in a series and beat Auburn in a series at home, and that's 4 of their wins of their 9 wins. That you feel like they should have 2 less at least. That Alabama and Auburn should have gone and been able to win those series against them, and that's their only 2 series win that they've had in SEC play so far.
And that was early on, was it not?
Yeah.
I mean, they've really hit the skids here lately. So, but with a stadium like they have and the support, it's just crazy that they couldn't win more games that they did. But you got some SEC baseball teams like A&M, Schlossberg.
They've gone on fire.
Yeah, so going to be fun to watch the finish. For sure. Tell
me how fun it's been for you to watch Sonny DeShara this year. I mean, sitting there hitting basically 400, 16 home runs, 45 RBIs. You find out that he's transferring in from Samford University, and you're obviously probably sitting there going, okay, that's maybe a good pickup. I'm not expecting a ton. I mean, there's no way anybody expected this guy to come in and hit 400, 16 home runs, 45 RBIs.
Well, there's our music. We're about to take a break. I'm going to hit on that because I know the story of how he ended up at Samford. I talked to his father.
Okay.
So let's talk about that. We'll talk about Sonny. Get back.
All right, we're up against our first break here on the Auburn Blitz. We come back, we'll talk some more Auburn baseball here on the Auburn Blitz. Stay tuned for more.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Don't miss the Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by America's First, May 20th through the 22nd. It's the South's largest in-water boat show featuring pontoons from Bennington, Sun Tracker, Silver Wave, Bentley Starcraft, and Avalon. Plus fishing boats from Carolina Skiff, Tracker, Ranger, Nitro, Express, wake boats from Mastercraft and more. Fireworks Friday night, lake lifestyle vendors, live music, and a free concert Saturday night featuring country superstar Tyler Farr. Admission is free. Go to LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
GMC Sierra 1500 AT4s, all-terrain four-wheel drives, are ready to roll now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika and discounted up to $3,800 off. And check out the GMC heavy-duty 2500s and 3500s. GMC Acadia, save up to $4,500 now with 0% financing on most new GMC models.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back in. Auburn Blitz, Monday edition here. Caleb Brooks, David Jones with you, talking all things Auburn and around the SEC and college sports. Right before we went to break, David, was kind of telling us that he talked with Sonny DeShar's dad and kind of talked about how, Sonny ended up at Samford originally, now has, ended up moving down to Auburn. So kind of tell everybody that story of how he ended up there and then how this move ended up happening down to Auburn.
Well, I spoke with him last week at the series, and I just asked him point blank. I said, Mr. DeShera, how did Sonny end up at Samford with his toolkit? And he said, well, he committed as a sophomore to Casey Dunn. And, when you commit to Casey Dunn,
especially when you're from Birmingham,
right
committing
there.
to Casey Dunn.
Yeah. And, and Sammy Dunn and the whole history. And, let's face it, Casey Dunn's an incredible baseball coach.
Yeah, look what he's done at UAB this year.
Some people said, we'd like to have seen what he could do at Auburn at some point. But he said, well, he just kind of blew up after that. Got stronger. And he played another sport. I can't remember. No, he was telling me that he pitched. So he ran it up low 90s on the mound. But and I said, well, I respect that he honored that commitment. I'm glad he's here. But, everybody talks about Sonny DeShera's bat, Caleb, but he's a wall at first base. He had a play this weekend where the ball literally popped up, just hit him in the chest, and he was like a catcher, just blocking that thing, scoops it, and makes the out. He's very good at stretching and scooping those, the hop throws that first basemen have to make. He's an incredible defensive first baseman. I just think he's got a chance to play on the next level, and wooden bats aren't going to make a difference with that joker because he can flat out. He has great vision. He's really good on holding up on breaking pitches at the last minute without breaking his wrist and getting the strike call. And it's been a joy. And, of course, his walk-up song, that Italian wedding song, is like everybody's downloading. Don't tell how many downloads that's got on YouTube now. When the chair, the crowd clapping to the music, just a fan favorite and one of the best hitters in the country.
You got to give Butch Thompson, I think, a lot of credit for what he's done with this group and obviously his coaching staff as well. But, there were some people going into the year that were, I think, kind of questioning some things with him and were saying that he could be on the hot seat. Me and Andy talked about that one day. It blew my mind after one negative year last year that, like we talked about, it was just a lot of one-run games that it happens in the sport of baseball. Right. And what I'm getting to with this is now you have Alabama fans kind of doing the same thing with Brad Bohannon, and everybody knows what he inherited at Alabama when he walked in. It was awful, and they've obviously improved every year up until this year where they've taken a step back, but it looked like they were trending in the right direction. Yeah. when are we going to get to a point where, I mean, we're questioning Brian Harsin already. We're wanting him fired after 1 year. Why just because one negative year, one bad thing happened? Alabama fans didn't care until they got beat by Auburn this weekend, and now everybody's calling for his head.
Yeah.
Why is the first thing going and calling for a coach's head just because you have one bad weekend or have one bad season during a year? I don't understand.
It's ridiculous. People are spoiled rotten,
And now the ones that were calling for Butch Thompson's head look really stupid.
Yeah. Well, every year, and let's face it, Caleb, we had AuburnBlitz last year, and we had several other players, and you're sitting there going, okay, how are we going to replace those guys? And then in walks Blake Rambush and Bobby Pierce and those guys, 3 or 4 different guys in the field that have just you don't even think about those guys anymore. And of course, what he's done with the pitching staff, that was the bugaboo last year. Andy and I would sit up here and just go, geez, what's the bullpen going to do this weekend? Holy crap, with the 1-run losses.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. And, of course, Bohannon, the interesting thing about him was, he was on Auburn's staff with Butch. Butch knows what the guy can do.
Yeah.
And it's just insane that we jump all over a guy after one bad year. And like you said, there wasn't any noise. Well, look, and you're an Alabama fan, but Alabama right now is just they're so high on football, obviously, and softball. Baseball is just kind of just flying under the radar. All of a sudden, you lose 2 games to Auburn, and people are chirping.
Yeah, people haven't watched them play all year.
That's right. Hadn't been to a game.
They saw them beat Tennessee on that Friday night, saw the highlights on ESPN, and then they saw that they lost to Auburn this weekend. They go, how about beat them and lose to Auburn? He's got to go. That's how they react.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And like I said, I know Alabama's had some tough breaks this year. I liked what I saw this weekend out of their team. It's just been an unfortunate year for them. But, that just it just grinds my gears.
Yeah. I just don't, the first thing that we do with everybody is go call for somebody's head. There was even Alabama fans in basketball this year after loving Nate Oates last year.
Oh, I loved him to death.
But maybe time to start looking at him. It's like this team just didn't play as well as last year's team did. How's that? Sometimes it's not even on the coach. Like when you watch Alabama basketball, they ran the same system. They got open shots. Didn't hit them.
He's not changing anything.
Yeah.
That's the way they
look
play.
at Auburn last year, they just didn't get hits in the right spot. They didn't get outs in the right spot. This year, they're getting it done.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's on the players to make plays and to go execute. And we put way too much blame on the coaches when there's 9 guys out there playing in baseball. There's 5 in basketball, and there's 11 in football, really 22 in football on both sides of the ball. Those are the guys out there having to make plays and do stuff. Yeah, there may be some coaching decisions and stuff sometimes that you don't agree with and all that, but ultimately it's up to those guys to make plays, and we put way too much blame on the coaches and not enough. And I'm not saying that we should sit up here and bash players and bash college kids. I'm not saying that. No. But what I'm saying is we put too much of the blame on the coaches when sometimes the coaches made the right call, put the kid in the right position, and it's up to you to make the tackle. Yeah, it's up to you to make the tackle. It's up to you to make the shot. It's up to you to make the big hit or make the play at short. We put way too much on the coach when you don't even know all the details of everything was done right except for that one player who did something wrong and it screwed up the whole entire play.
Well, here's the thing too, Caleb. By the percentages and by the scouting reports, coaches make calls and the player doesn't execute, and the first thing we say is that was a terrible decision.
Yeah.
No, that was the right decision. The kid didn't come through. I mean,
if you're watching a baseball game and the coach does a shift because a guy 70% of the time pulls the ball to this area over here, but this one time it hits off the end of the bat and goes opposite field. How's that on the coach?
That's right.
It just happens, sometimes that type of stuff happens.
Hey, I saw a new shift last weekend. Arkansas against Sonny DeShera. It was a slow pitch softball. They had 4 outfielders.
Really? I
and
did not
2
see
infielders.
That. Wow, I would like to seen a picture of that.
I should have taken a picture.
Yeah, you should have.
I told my wife, I said, all right, I hadn't seen that
Who'd they
shift.
move out of the infield?
Second baseman.
They
No,
just moved him down.
Shortstop. Had third base midway of that side of the infield and first base midway of that right side of the infield, and moved the shortstop out to a short field position or a right center position.
Wow.
Dude.
Why have we not seen anything on that on SEC Network or ESPN or anything?
I said, is this a slow pitch softball? Because I used to play short field. That was my position. Oh, my goodness. But now they were 4 across, Caleb.
Look, people have tried whatever they've wanted to with DeShara this year, and he just continues to get hits.
That's
40% of the time, he's reaching base over 55% of the time. It's just been incredible.
But let me say this real quick. The other thing I was going to say, and I'm going to say this. Most of these guys that are complaining, The next day they coach will be the first day they coach.
Exactly.
So just shut up and go sit in the corner.
Up against another break here on the Auburn Blitz. We'll be back with more right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
Russell Building Supply and Home Center is just around the corner in a brand new convenient location with a wide selection of grills, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. The new store offers more home improvement items along with other helpful conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard and our Best Rewards program, making it an ideal destination for do-it-yourselfers and professional contractors. Get ready for game day on the plains by stocking up on all your Auburn tailgating gear at Russell Building Supply and Home Center.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back in. Monday edition of the Auburn Blitz. Caleb Brooks, David Jones here with you. About 30 more minutes in today's show. We want to thank our sponsors, Russell Do-It Center Building Supply Stores. They have 9 locations all over the state of Alabama. So if you're doing any kind of home projects, you need wood tools, paint, nails, any of that type of stuff, head over to Russell Do-It Center. We appreciate all the support that they have for us here at R&B Media with Sports Blitz, Auburn Blitz, the AHSA Radio Network, all that we do. We also want to thank Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team over there. Look, they get it done, and they're the best to go to. And Eric has been doing it for a long time. And again, we appreciate their support, and they've been here with the Auburn Blitz really from the get-go and helping this thing get going. And we wouldn't be here every day without them. So make sure to hit up the Eric McKinley team, go by and visit them, as well as Big Fish Realty. Big Fish, a new place here, but if you're looking for a place on Lake Martin, around the Alex City area, close to the lake, Big Fish is the place to go. Make sure to look them up. They've been doing it around here for the longest, and they're going to know the best places and the right places to go to find you the best lake house or the best house that you can find here around the Alexander City, Lake Martin area. So head over to Big Fish Realty. We appreciate all the support that they have for us here with Auburn Blitz. We're going to head to the phone lines now. So we got a caller. Caller, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
Good afternoon, guys. Thank you for taking my call. I have a quick comment and a question. My comment is on Brian Harsin. I'm cautiously optimistic that we will have a better team this year, and I'm all for giving the guy a chance. He's an Auburn Tiger now, and I'm just patient with him, and I want him to do well for obvious reasons, but I think we just need to give the man a chance, and I think he'll get some things worked out. And my question is, and this is kind of off the wall, and I really have no theory on anything on this, but I know in the past it's been here in the state of Alabama. Of course, we don't have a lottery, and therefore we feel like at times we've been shorthanded with scholarships to give guys because of states around us that have it, and so forth and so on. And my question is, this is probably pretty goofy, but concerning the NIL, is there any way that Auburn and Alabama, whatever, can help out with some of these guys on the baseball side of things to perhaps get more players in here? And I'll just hang up and listen to your comment, and thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir, Jerry. Appreciate you tuning in and giving us a call. And I think it's a good question because it's something that I've actually talked about with other people. We don't have a lottery. We've talked all the time about how Alabama and Auburn are at a disadvantage, not just Alabama and Auburn. It's UAB, it's Samford, it's Troy, it's Jacksonville State, it's South Alabama. All of them have a disadvantage to some of these other programs. You look at what Southern Miss is doing in baseball this year. The lottery. I mean, it's helping them get extra money for guys and be able to build a baseball program like that. Mm-hmm. Alabama's at a disadvantage because of that right now. NIL is a great way to be able to kind of make up for that. I mean, it's not money going in the players' pockets, but it's money that you ain't having to spend on school that you're having to spend on school right now as a baseball player or a softball player.
Yep. Hey, Caleb, Jerry, first of all, I totally echo your comments on Coach Harsin. Totally agree. NIL is not just football.
Yeah.
Now, that's where the big checks are going. But NIL is an opportunity, yes, for Alabama and Auburn to make some – I mean, Caleb, my son played baseball, signed with Auburn but got drafted by the Rays. And 11.7 scholarships for a baseball team. I mean, crap, you're carrying –
with 30 players.
15 pitchers,
yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous, and don't be fooled for a minute. There are other schools in other states that have a huge advantage. That's why it's so pleasant to see what Auburn's doing this year and Alabama has done in past years in baseball with that disadvantage. But I can promise you right now that there are some NIL things working for baseball players as well as football. And right now, that's the only real avenue that we have.
Yeah,
to make up for that 11.7 scholarship, which if the NCAA would get out of their archaic cave that they live in and realize that is just absolutely inequitable for baseball.
And it's unfair. I mean, basketball has 13. Tell me how that works. They have 13 scholarships to allot for 13 players. Baseball has 11.7 to allot for 30 to 35. And if you have a guy like Keegan Thompson who got given 100%, which he should have been given 100%,
Right.
What if he gets hurt? Now all of a sudden you only got 10.7 scholarships because you've got one guy who's taking up a whole scholarship that's now hurt and not contributing to the team. So
and that's why that is extremely rare.
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes my blood boil, Caleb. I can't even go there. It makes me so angry. But NIL's the answer right now.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama and Auburn, I think you're going to have to get a group of people who support baseball because that's what's going to be key. Both Alabama and Auburn have people who they don't care about baseball. I mean, they just don't. They don't care about softball. They watch football, and they probably just started watching basketball for both programs over the last 10 years. So football's always been the king, and that's the way it's going to be. You're going to have people who do care about baseball, who have some money, who start something to put it into a fund. Like you're seeing A&M do for football right now, where they're just throwing $30 million in a pot and spreading it out over everybody.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be no $30 million, but you're going to have to do something where you can kind of divvy it out and say, hey, we're only going to be able to give you 40%, but if you come and we can get you this NIL right here, blah, 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 all of a sudden it's up to 85%. And that's what Alabama and Auburn have to get on, because that's what the lottery has done for Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Georgia, all those programs. So
it's a great question, Jerry. Appreciate that.
Really good question, Jerry. We're up against another break here on the Auburn Blitz. We'll be back with 2 more segments right after this.
Lake Martin has a new car buying experience. It's the TR Group of Alex City on Cherokee Road. The TR Group has up to 100 late model vehicles to choose from and will not be beat on price, selection, or financing. With the TR Group, your selection and quality is easy and your good credit is rewarded. But we offer guaranteed financing on our inventory because your future is more important than your past. The TR Group, Lake Martin's new standard in auto sales. Located at 814 Cherokee Road, Alex City, USA.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Whether you prefer bricks, clicks, or taps, there's one place built around all your needs. For whatever it is you want to do. Even if your needs change, we'll be right there with you, making it all possible. Because you never know when a new addition will come along. So walk in, log on, or tap away. Either way, Valley's built to help you do you. Wherever life takes you, we'll be right there with you.
Hey guys, this is Nate Pass with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs. Or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce. Because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Hey, this is Doug Roberts, long-term resident of Alexander City. I sold my house with Century 21 Lake Area Realty because all my life I had heard that to sell a house you need 3 things: location, location, location. I found out there's actually 4. You need location, 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 and Rhonda Gaskins at Century 21 Lake Area Realty to sell your house fast.
Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River Region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker, 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 Brubaker.
You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at BrewBaker.com.
Welcome back in. Auburn Blitz, Caleb Brooks, David Jones here with you. We've talked a lot about Auburn baseball and a big series win over Alabama this weekend, and now going to shift over to softball and the softball diamond as the Auburn Tigers were informed of their regional and their regional opponent. They're going to be heading up to Clemson and taking on the Clemson Tigers there in that regional, and really a really good regional there when you look at the teams that are in it. Yeah, I mean, Louisiana Lafayette 45-11 this year, really good. UNC Wilmington at 32-13, Auburn at 39-15, and Clemson at 39-15. Clemson must have played a really, really good non-conference schedule to have the same record as Auburn and be hosting a regional. And, that was one thing we did talk about with Auburn. It was a great start to the year, but you looked at the competition, you said it's not the greatest. Still did really well in SEC play, but I think the non-conference schedule is really what kept this Auburn team from being able to host a regional this year.
Yeah, and they better win the first game. I mean, you dig yourself a hole in that regional by getting
and like we said, I mean, the first game's not going to be easy. Matching up with Louisiana Lafayette on Friday.
45 wins.
Yeah, and I mean, look, at Lafayette, they eat, sleep, and breathe baseball and softball down there. So
absolutely, yeah. We're in. Didn't get one. Obviously, to host. And somebody said, well, why didn't they send us to Florida State? Because that's where we always end up going. But going to Clemson. And that is a tough regional, draw for the Auburn Lady Tigers for sure.
Looking at some of the rest of the regionals around softball, obviously Oklahoma sitting there at number 1, 49-2 this year, and just been an incredible year for them. I mean, their only 2 losses are to Texas at Texas, and then they just lost Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship on Saturday at Oklahoma City. So their 2 losses are to 2 teams who are hosting regionals, and outside of that, they've ran through the competition. I know Allo for them added to her home run total the other day. She now has 113 home runs in her career, which broke Lauren Chamberlain's record when she set it at Oklahoma with like 96 a couple years ago. So obviously they're the favorites going in to repeat and have really kind of set the standard in softball. But when you look down at the number 2 seed there at Florida State's really good as well, 52-5 this year. And, they came up to Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama in a midweek game earlier this year. They played in that tournament down in Clearwater, Florida to open up the season against some of the best competition in the whole entire country. And I think that when you look at it, I mean, Florida State's probably the team everybody's looking at to really be able to give Oklahoma a run for their money and if both teams can make it to Oklahoma City.
I enjoyed watching them last year, too. I haven't seen them much this year. Oh, well, Caleb, where's UCLA? Are they not hosting a regional?
Yeah, UCLA is hosting. They're actually going to be hosting Ole Miss is heading out to L.A. It'll be UCLA, Grand Canyon, Ole Miss, and Loyola Marymount.
There it is, L.A. Regional. Okay. And they're 43-8. That's another program that you watch closely when it comes to this time of year. Obviously, lately, Alabama, Florida State, UCLA, Oklahoma. How about Central Florida hosting a regional at 46-12?
Yeah, really good for them. And I know I think Auburn played Central Florida down earlier in the year, start the year in that tournament down there. So
that's correct.
That was one of the really good matchups that Auburn had there in at the early part of the year. And UCF able to sneak in and get that 16 seed. And I keep up with a little bit of softball on Twitter and stuff with people talking. There were some people that were kind of questioning them getting a regional host over a couple of other teams. But, look, you can't argue with 46-12. And from what I saw, someone said, you go look at their non-conference, they really challenged themselves and were able to get through their non-conference, with ease against some pretty good teams at times.
Well, I mean, that's a gamble for those mid-major, if you want to call them, teams. But, man, when you schedule some big-time teams and you beat them in the non-conference, you deserve that regional, especially with 46 wins.
I'll tell you one of them that is kind of a surprise to me when you look at it is Northwestern. Northwestern's made 20 straight regionals, and you wouldn't imagine that Northwestern, up there would have such a dominant softball program the way that they do. But Northwestern's now made 20 straight regionals, and they're a team that a lot of people are talking about can really go make some noise there from the 9 seed.
They must have a good indoor facility, Caleb, because they're shoveling snow.
That's
the
what I'm
first
saying. I mean,
month of the season. That's crazy. That's congratulations to Northwestern, 40-10. So, and Notre Dame is in that regional too.
Yeah, Notre Dame being there, that should be a really fun matchup. When you look at it from top to bottom, your 1 seed is Oklahoma, your 2 seed Florida State, your 3 seed was Virginia Tech, 4 seed Arkansas. Your 5 seed was UCLA, 6 seed Alabama, 7 seed Oklahoma State, and your 8 seed Arizona State. So that's your teams that are in line to host a super regional if we move on. And you see it every year. 1 through 8 is not going to be hosting a super regional. One of those is going to get upset, and you're going to have somebody that can sneak in there and make a big run at this. And that's what always excites me about this time of year, is what makes me look forward to this weekend, is just seeing which team kind of gets hot. And, look, Missouri wasn't going to host a regional. They were not in place to host a regional. The way they finished the year, getting to the SEC championship, going 2-2 with Alabama here at the end, that's what got them in. And, look, they've been hot, and I think they're a team that can really make a run at this.
I do too. How crazy would it be if Oklahoma State and Oklahoma both made the College Softball World Series? I mean, you think about an Alabama and Auburn being in the same.
Yeah. Especially out there in Oklahoma.
Especially with Oklahoma State just coming off that win against Oklahoma. That would be crazy.
It's been fun for me to watch the Women's College World Series and the way that it's just grown over the years. I mean, they had to come in and build an upper deck now in that place to get more fans in there, and just, the coverage on ESPN and what it's become. Last year with a team finishing at 2:30 in the morning and having to come back and play the next day, people had an outcry, and they got something done about that. Now they expanded it another day this year, and you're not going to have to do all that. And so, you're really starting to see people take this serious. And, I've seen people on Twitter now, they're saying, look, softball has moved right there into being even with baseball from an interest standpoint. I mean, to me, the big sports in college are football, basketball, baseball, softball, gymnastics. That's the 5 biggest sports. It's the 5 that almost every university has. And, it's been pretty incredible to watch the way that softball has really moved up into, there's a lot of people that are more interested in what's going on with college softball than what's going on with college baseball right now.
I sat by some people Saturday, 2 ladies that have season softball tickets, and Auburn wasn't playing softball at home this weekend, so they came to the baseball game. A lot of people that would be the opposite. They got baseball season tickets. Oh, let's go catch softball. Me being a basketball junkie, the Final Four and the NCAA tournament is the mecca for me. But right behind that is the NCAA softball and baseball. I'll watch every one of them if I can.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like, both the men's and the women's College World Series. I remember being younger. I hated when they moved from Rosenblatt for baseball. I loved Rosenblatt. I had the video game, and they had Rosenblatt on there, that you made it to, and I loved it. And, they moved to where they're at now, TD Ameritrade. And, look, it's been great, and they've made adjustments. First year we only had, 3 home runs hit, in the whole entire World Series. So they've made adjustments. It's gotten a lot more fun to watch. But I think that when they made that move and all that happened with BB Core bats and stuff, that's when softball really started hitting its rise, because people started tuning in going, hey, they're hitting bombs, and, these girls are throwing 70 miles an hour, which is the equivalent of 100 in baseball. And all of a sudden, it really helped the game grow over the last 10 years. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
And the other thing, these pitches, like the pitcher from Arkansas that developed the drop ball in like a week, and you can't hit that.
No. I mean, and then you have a rise ball to come right off of it, and then a curve. I mean, it's pretty difficult. So it's just a lot of fun to watch. Up against our 4th break here on the show. We'll be back with one more segment here on the Auburn Blitz. Stay tuned for more.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Need that boost to get you started in the morning or help get you through a long day at the office? Alex City Nutrition is your answer. Alex City Nutrition, located on 2nd Broad Street in downtown Alex City, offers meal replacement shakes, post-workout shakes, extreme rebuild products, and a vast array of loaded teas that offer focus, energy, and build up your immunity and overall health. Want to buy in bulk? We now offer your favorite flavors by the gallon. Come by Alex City Nutrition today or call 256-496-8284 to begin your journey to great health.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
Welcome back in. Final segment here of the Auburn Blitz. Got some comments on Facebook. So, David, you can read through those comments there.
Yeah, Ty said, while that game suspended might cause Auburn a West Division title, I still think Auburn will still host a regional. I don't think there's any question with the RPI and where they have us projected. And here's the thing,
it would
Ty,
take them collapsing here at them. I mean, it would take them going 0-5 here to finish the season and not host, I think.
I don't think. And
that's not going to happen.
Ty, I don't know that we'd catch Arkansas anyway, you know.
Yeah.
And they've got Alabama this weekend.
Yeah,
and
they're going to go sweep Alabama.
Yeah, you think so. And Wesley, and then Ty says, I think Butch has a chance to get the SEC Manager of the Year. That's probably going to be draped in Tennessee orange.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, you know how we feel about him. Don't even get me started on Vitello. Butch Thompson probably deserves that, like Caleb said off the air. All the pieces that left the puzzle and the guys that have plugged in this year, how they've handled the pitching staff, and he deserves it. He really does. And then Wesley Coleman, saw Wes yesterday. It's good to see Wes at the game. Bama's Friday starter was flat out nasty, made Auburn's hitters look silly at times. You said McMillan.
Yeah, Garrett McMillan.
Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa. dude can pitch.
I mean, he throws 4 pitches for a strike, and he pounds the zone for the most part. And you know, he's not overpowering. He's 89 to 91 miles an hour, but when you can throw 4 for a strike and mix it up like that, you can be pretty good. And, you know, as an Alabama fan, you're just sitting there going, man, if Connor Prilip just could have been healthy. You know, you'd have had him on Friday, and then McMillan would have been your Saturday guy, and you're probably looking at a whole different season for this Alabama baseball team.
One guy, that's exactly right. And
especially when it's a guy that's going to be the first pitcher taken in the draft this year.
Yeah. Well, but, you know, the thing about Friday's game, like I told you at the top of the broadcast, that was an incredible baseball game. Mason Barnett did a great job for us, and we were just able to squeeze one more run across the plate that Alabama didn't get. But McMillan definitely.
Do you know that now 6 of the last 8 Alabama-Auburn baseball games have been decided by 1 run?
Is that right?
Yeah. Saw that was one of the graphics this weekend.
Well, that's the rivalry. And there again, that's a credit to Alabama's pitching staff that they only held Auburn to 3 runs. Doesn't happen very often with the bats that we have and how they're swinging it.
And, you know, look, when Alabama got up 4-0 on Saturday, you know, you had to be kind of sitting there going, oh, man, this has a chance to get out of hand. You got to really give Auburn's bullpen a lot of credit for coming in, and they won that game for Auburn on Saturday because, I mean, Alabama came out hot and really did nothing, like you said. I mean, 3 or 4 base runners the rest of the game, the last 8 innings.
The seat wasn't even warm yet, Caleb, before it's a 4 spot on the board out there. And Tim Hudson, you know, some people have taken he's taken some hits from some people, some Auburn people, which I totally don't understand because what more do you know about pitching than that guy does?
Yeah.
But, you know, he realized quickly that Trace just didn't have it Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And
look, that happens. I mean, I went and watched Charlie Morton, who was a key in the Braves winning the World Series last year. I went and watched him face the Phillies, and he go 8 in the first inning of the Phillies in the game last year. I mean, it happens. It's baseball.
It's a cruel game.
Yeah. Sometimes your velocity's not there, your movement's not there, or the other team's just seeing it out of your arm the right way, and it just happens to be one of those days.
That's right. And like you said, Alabama puts 4 runs on the board in the first inning, and I think they only saw 4 base runners the rest of the ball game. So credit to Sheehan, Swilling, and also in relief.
And if you're Auburn right now, you have to feel really good about the pitching staff, you know, going forward. I mean, with what you have set up with your 3 starters and then what the bullpen has been able to provide, you know, especially if you're hosting, if you're in that top 8, you know, getting to host both the first and the regional and the super regional, you have to feel really good about your chances to get back to Omaha.
Wow, if we could get to a super regional, that'd just be I'd have to scramble to get me a ticket to that one.
When is the last time Auburn hosted it? Has Auburn hosted a super regional? I know that they were in line to do it in 2010, and then Clemson ended up knocking off because it would have been Alabama and Auburn facing in the super regional that year.
Andy's my human.
Yeah, he would 100% remember. Yeah. So maybe he'll send us a text or something afterwards if he's been watching.
We'll talk about that. Yeah, that would be incredible. And also, Caleb, to Butch's credit and Tim Hudson, you know, with Hayden Mullins out now. And from what we know, they haven't said a whole lot, but from what I know from an Auburn staffer, it doesn't look very good. Yeah. It's a significant injury. It's probably going to require some surgery. And so there's your Friday starter out. So what do you do now? And Mason Barnett plugs right in and has done a great job as the day 1 starter.
And Trace Bright's been good all year.
And
it's just one day, and I guarantee you this coming Saturday, he'll be pretty good against Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
Especially not throwing that much. You know, sometimes maybe you just need an off. Maybe you need an off day like that. Maybe you need to only go throw 30 pitches and get some rest in a long year like this. And it may end up being a good thing for him here in the long run over the next couple of weeks.
I agree. And the third thing with Joseph, you know, because Joseph's coming off 2 losses. He was 6-0.
Yeah.
And I wanted him to be able to battle through that yesterday and pitch. I wanted him to give us 6 or 7. And then we're sitting there with Burkhalter ready in the 9th. So it just wasn't meant to be. But there again, just a little more rest for Joseph and for the Alabama starter as well. So because of the weather, they're not being able to finish.
Appreciate all you tuning in today on the Auburn Blitz. Tonight, you got AHSAA State Baseball Championships on WOTM television. Make sure to tune in to that, 7 o'clock. Speaking of Trace Bright, he's from Trinity. Trinity will be competing against Piedmont in the state championship tonight. It'll be game 1. Games 2 and 3 will be tomorrow at 10, and then the if necessary game to follow. But look, if you want to watch some good high school baseball, tune in on WOTM, and you can also find it on the NFHS network, and should be a lot of fun tonight. to have that. I'll be on the call with Kenny MacArthur, who is a former minor league baseball player, now runs Central Alabama Baseball Academy, and should be a lot of fun to bring that game. We did them last year, and should be a really good matchup. I think Trinity's like 34-5 coming into the night, and Piedmont's like 36-6. So, I mean, it's going to be a great baseball game. So make sure to tune in, and we enjoyed it today. That's going to do it for us here on the Auburn Blitz. We'll be back tomorrow.